Quarantine is real.
How about the
So
telecommunication
watching TV lang.
as the government
The
encouraged
whole day.
smart and voice all
Watching
internet
TV.
service providers
Hi, Jan Jan.
Hi!
Are we going to eat now?
Uy,
Si
hindi ako
Donna.
nakita. Hi!
Okay, Jan. Eat your lunch. Bawal magtira. Kasi kailangan magtipid ng
Mami,
food.
is this tuna?
No, that's goat. Kalderetang goat.
Like in the... Like... Hello!
Ako, I'm not yet done. Spaghetti naman.
Not yet done. Ako done na nga.
After rice, spaghetti naman. Carbs pa more. Mukhang hindi mo na ako mamimiss ngayon. Mas matagal tayong magsasama ngayon. Treadmill. Kaya lang, commensurate naman lang tayo. Hello everyone! Welcome back to my channel. At nakita nyo naman, nasa bahay ako ngayon because home quarantine is real. So, during my last vlog nga, I was able to discuss to you the legal basis for the imposition of community quarantine within Metro Manila. At nakita nyo na during that time, I was able to do the vlog in the law office. Nakapasok pa po ako. That was March 16, 2020. That was the first working day after the imposition, after the effectivity of community quarantine within Metro Manila. Kasi community quarantine became effective on March 15, 2020. At nakapasok pa po kami nung Monday after that. And even our employees in the law office, even those coming from outside Metro Manila, they were still go to the law office, they were still able to go to work, provided that they were able to present company ID or certificate of employment dun sa mga checkpoints. However, on March 16, on the night of March 16, 2020, the President of the Philippines again faced the Filipino people through the media, and he declared an enhanced community quarantine not only within Metro Manila but throughout Luzon. So in this vlog, I will be discussing to you the difference between a general community quarantine and an enhanced community quarantine. So balik po tayo sa Proclamation number 922. So by virtue of Proclamation number 922 issued by President Duterte, the Philippines was declared under a state of public health emergency. At dahil nga po nasa state of public health emergency ang Philippines, ay Interagency Task Force on Emerging Infectious Diseases was able to convene. Kasi ang IATF, EID, ay hinahayaan na mag-convene kapag may ganitong state of public health emergency. So ano ba tong IATF, EID na lagi nating naririnig sa media, na laging minamention ng mga cabinet members whenever they will issue policies regarding measures against COVID-19. So ang IATF, EID po ay hindi bagong creation ng government. This was actually created as early as May 26, 2014 by virtue of Executive Order number 168, which was issued by then President Benigno Aquino III. So ito pong IATF, EID ay nagawa kasi during that time in 2014, may mga emergence na ng infectious diseases like SARS, Ebola virus, which were acknowledged by the global community as a threat or a potential public health emergency. And of course, indubitably, undoubtedly, COVID-19 is a public health emergency. So, ano nga ba ang composition ng IATF EID? So, ang IATF EID ay composed ng Department of Health. So, ang chairperson ng Department ng EID ng IATF EID ay ang Secretary of the Department of Health. At ang mga members nito ay ang Department of Foreign Affairs or DFA, Department of Interior and Local Government or DILG, Department of Justice or DOJ, Department of Labor and Employment or DOLE, Department of Tourism or DOT, and Department of Transportation and Communication or DOTC. So, sila nga po yung naglabas ng resolution recommending the imposition or the declaration of community quarantine within Metro Manila bago po dineclare ni Presidente Duterte yun noong March 12 at naging effective po noong March 15. So sabi po ni Presidente Duterte noong March 12, maglalabas siya ng executive order in regard to this community quarantine. However, on March 13, 2020, what was issued was not an executive order but it's an executive memorandum issued by Executive Secretary Salvador Mejaldia. So bakit nga po executive memorandum ang in-issue and not an executive order? Kasi po under the rules, pag po mag-i-issue ng executive order ang isang presidente para po ma-implement siya needs publication. But in the case of executive memorandum, hindi na kailangan ng publication and immediate compliance. Pwede na po ang immediate compliance. So, nung March 13, 2020, nag-issue nga po si Executive Secretary Salvador Mejaldia ng Executive Memorandum na nag-declare ng community quarantine within NCR. At doon po sa Executive Memorandum na yon, na-define ang general community quarantine as opposed to an enhanced community quarantine. So, paragraph 3 of that executive memorandum states na ang general community quarantine is when where movement of people shall be limited to accessing basic necessities and work, and uniformed personnel and quarantine officers shall be present at border points, as opposed to an enhanced community quarantine wherein where strict home quarantine shall be implemented in all households, transportation shall be suspended, provision for food and essential health services shall be regulated, and heightened presence of uniformed personnel to enforce quarantine procedures will be implemented. So, yung una pong dineclare or inimpose ng government noong March 12, which became effective on March 15, 2020, was a general community quarantine. So, during that time, pwede pa rin makalabas ng bahay, especially yung mga employees. So, bawal lang na parang ang Metro Manila during that time ay may mga taong lumabas sa Metro Manila at bawal din ang pumasok. So, magkaka-checkpoints lang. If you're an employee, you can still go to your work provided na makapagpresenta ka ng Certificate of Employment and Company ID. Even those working outside Metro Manila, they can still go to work. Even those that are working outside Metro Manila, they can still go to work provided that they can provide these documents. Pero sa enhanced community quarantine, hindi na ganon. So, nung March 16, 2020, an enhanced community quarantine was declared, and Executive Secretary Mejaldia issued Executive Memorandum dated March 16, 2020. At dito po nakalagay that not only NCR but an entire Luzon shall be subjected to an enhanced community quarantine from the period effective from 12 a.m. of March 17, 2020 and expiring on April 13, 12 a.m. 2020. So, ano nga ba ang salient features nito? So, number 1, classes and all school activities in all levels shall be suspended until April 14, 2020 and shall resume on April 15, 2020. Mass gatherings shall be prohibited. A strict home quarantine shall be observed in all households. So, that is the reason why ngayon, sa mga bahay na lang nila ang mga tao muna. Kasi, I think during that time of community quarantine, yung general community quarantine pa lang ang ini-implement. So, marami pa rin pumapasok sa work. And yung strict social distancing, hindi ma-implement. Kasi nakapila sila dun sa checkpoints at ang lalapit pa rin nila sa isa't isa. And there is still the threat of transmission. So, kaya the government felt the need to yung palawigin itong community quarantine and impose an enhanced community quarantine. So, sa bahay tayo, strict home quarantine, well, of course, that is subject to certain exceptions. So, pwede kang lumabas ng bahay if you are going to buy basic necessities like food and medicine. So, yung mga nagtatrabaho rin, as a general rule, public offices, both public and private offices, shall be work in public and private sector shall be suspended. The exception of that is yung sa executive department, especially yung mga frontliners, may pasok sila. They should provide skeletal workforce. Yung private sector, as a general rule, wala silang pasok, except yung mga establishments providing basic necessities and such activities related to food and medicine production. So, bukas po ang mga public markets, supermarkets, groceries, convenience stores, hospitals, medical clinics, pharmacies and drugstores, food preparation and delivery services, water refilling stations, manufacturing and processing plants of basic food products and medicines, banks, money transfer services, power, energy, water, and telecommunication supplies and facilities shall be open. So, POs or business of process outsourcing establishments and export-oriented industries shall be operational provided that ang mga employers nila, they should provide temporary accommodation arrangements to their employees by March 18, 2020, and that a skeletal workforce shall be implemented. And of course, strict social distancing also. What about the media? So media personnel, they can still travel or allowed to travel within the quarantine area, provided that within 72 hours from the implementation or effectivity of the enhanced community quarantine, they should secure already an ID or identification card from the Presidential Communication Operations Office. So kanina, I was able to watch Secretary Nograles, and he said that they will issue an IATF IDs to the media. Also, mass public transport facilities shall be suspended. Land, air, and sea travel shall also be restricted. So, paano yung mga lalabag sa mga measures na to, sa rules na to? So, under Executive Memorandum, nakalagay din doon that all violators of this shall be subjected to criminal and administrative sanctions. So, I advise na dahil nga po kasama sa Interagency Task Force, EID, ang Department of Justice, kasama po silang mag-implement nito at sila yung magpo-prosecute sa mga violators. So, ignorance of the law excuses no one. So, dapat alam po natin ang mga policies na to, and we should abide by the rules imposed by our government. So, for the meantime, let us just stay at home. I think this is also for our own good. there are a lot of difficulties happening because of the COVID-19 outbreak, and everybody has their own share of sacrifice. Even our frontliners, so tayo nasa bahay natin, but we should also take consideration yung mas nahihirapan ng mga frontliners. So let us just help each other and support each other and cooperate to whatever measures that our government will be implementing and will be issuing. And let's hope and pray that this epidemic, that this crisis shall soon be ended. And see you again on my next vlog. Bye!
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Mugshots with Atty. Maggie.